Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wartilyo. My name is Lance, and today I am joined by two esteemed team tournament captains. And while that might be a bit confusing, it's a very funny story to go with it. Today I'm joined by the champion of last weekend's Grand Alliance Clash, Joshua Manalansan. Hi, Josh.
Hey Lance, thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
yeah, no
Excited
problem.
to excited to talk about Age of Sigmar.
All right, very good. So yeah, we have our back-to-back champ Joshua, who also won a previous 750-point Spearhead-esque event in third edition, and joining us as well is the man who is the reason why Team Spam got its name, the shadow captain of Team Spam, Patrick Mandapat. Yo,
Hello.
Patrick, say hi.
Oh no, hello.
Yeah, okay.
So
So you
sick.
might see, yeah, you might see that his voice is still really here, that his voice is still really messed up, and that is partly why he's the shadow captain and not the actual captain. So, the purpose of this video is to summarize and give a recap of what happened last weekend from the eyes of the team that won, as well as to talk about the team event for those who are curious about the format, and for the ups and downs of this kind of thing. So the first thing I'd like to ask Joshua,
Mhm.
and Patrick, feel free to butt in and add some color to it, is how did this team form, Josh?
Well, I'll only be able to talk about how I joined. So I joined as the second to the last person of the team.
Oh, so
I got
yeah.
I got invited by Dennis to play, and then I saw the team and instantly said yes.
Uh
But
huh.
even then, we were still missing one other person
Yeah.
when I joined. So yeah, as for the establishment of the team itself, I guess I would defer to Patrick about that.
Okay, Pat, tell us the funny story.
Oh
What
no.
happened?
So it started with JP, one of the team members of Team Spam, inviting me to join the team tournament because we didn't have one specifically for Wartilyo. So uh, they wanted to be a mercenary for their team, and I believe Dennis was also supposed to be the first captain of
Mm-hmm.
the group.
Yeah.
So that's when I was able to join, and then we needed more players, so we got the players that we were close to. So we got Joshua. It was the other member was supposed to be Paolo, as well,
Mhm.
Paolo Duenas, but he wasn't able to.
We went to Japan.
He went to Japan.
Boo.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and then
Yeah.
we were thinking of a team name, and then we wanted the team. The initial name was Team Maling, but then we had the weird idea of spamming units, and then so we changed our name to Team
Uh,
Spam.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So the team itself went through like I think five different people. Um, it went through like Paolo and then Risa, and then we got Castard, and then Patrick got sick and then got replaced by Nico.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So this team is sort of like that ship, the ship of Theseus, right? Like it has a few members that's still there, but a lot of the parts were replaced going down. Was the ship still? Was Team Spam still Team Spam though? Did you build your lists around the idea of spamming units still?
Um,
I feel like that was. Do you have a
Originally,
copy of your
yes,
lists? Do you have a copy of the list by any chance?
I do, but it's
It's
on
somewhere
another.
else.
Yeah, it's
It's
somewhere
okay.
else.
Not a big
Yeah,
deal. Don't worry. We can post a link to it maybe in the description.
yeah. The
So
only person who personified Team Spam would probably be the Custard with the Night Hunt list with like how many blade guys he has, like
like
more than 40.
60.
probably 60.
60.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's carrying that mantle for all of us.
that's fair. Because like I know Nico spam bloodthirsters, but they were all different bloodthirsters, and JP spam gargants, but they were all different gargants. So it didn't. I didn't feel the spirit of the name. I feel like something was the soul of the team was lost while constructing the team. But speaking of
but
spamming, sorry, go on. Yeah.
but originally we also had Paolo who would also be coming in with a shark spam list.
No, that's fair. Was Risa gonna spam what do you call those? The flying ones?
Oh, Morgas for
Yeah,
sure.
which
Yeah.
she would have spam Morgas. Oh man, there's a different universe where this would have been the inside joke would have flowed through much better. But
Mhm.
okay, so so that's how the team was formed. How did you prepare for it? And speaking of spam, right? Like there were some rules in the tournament where you couldn't repeat a lot of enhancements. So tell us how you guys navigated building lists for this.
Fortunately for us, there wasn't much of an overlap when it came to like enhancements and grand strategies. Like
Mhm.
even in the finalized version of the team, I think I was the only one with spellcasting savant.
Right.
And then each list would have their own unique enhancements. I think like for Gargants, they would have the Nullstone, the normal Nullstone. I think the one where you can unbind, and then for the Horn one would be the Pouch of Null Dust. But just looking at one of the things that we realized looking at the team tourney was number one, there would only be like 5 members, which is
Right.
makes it different. Uh, which is a big difference, I think, from other team tourneys. And then the other thing that we realized was all of the game two, all of the second battle plans were maps where there were only 3 objectives. And then in preparation with that, we decided to we decided to put our Gargants player as defender for all of those games. Because another thing that we realized is once, by the time that we would be putting the Gargants player as defender for the second battle plan, the enemy has already committed 3 armies.
Right.
So that would mean that I could there's a certain amount of assurance that I can put the Gargants player in a good battle plan and then have them match up against a matchup that they wanted.
Okay. So for the people at home who are not familiar with the Grand Alliance Clash format, it was team of five, and it follows the same kind of pairing mechanics as Age of Sigmar Worlds, where both players put down a defender, and both teams would put down an attacker to counter the defender, and your team gets to choose which attacker among the two faces off against your defender. So what Josh, I can corroborate what Josh says, in that if the second set of pair or the pairing, the defender before the last pairings tends to be the strongest position because you've filtered out most of the different matchups, and all you're left with at the end of that point would be the last two matchups. And as Josh said, if you pick the more favorable one, it puts that defending player in a really good spot.
Very
Yeah.
good.
So Gargants, was it three? Um, were all the second sets of rounds 3 mission rounds?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's really
Mhm.
interesting.
That's one of the things that we realized. Oh, we can just put Gargants here. That'll be easy.
Oh, okay. All right. It seems like that strategy worked out. How were you happy with JP's performance in this tournament?
Oh yeah, like I think he went 20-0 3 times, or at least very close to it.
Yeah, he swung very high, and that was very good. So okay, so yeah, looking at the sheet, it sounds like there weren't a lot of repeats, and
No.
it sounds like when was the last player switched out, right? Like when did you guys decide that Custard would join the team? Because looking at this sheet, it looked like Paolo was still in it. It kind of shows the audience that this was the changes to the team were very frantic, right? Was it the week
Yeah.
before?
Paolo gave us a heads up that he might be going to Japan, and the latest that he would tell us would be April 10. So he wasn't able to go to the team tourney, obviously. And then the other person would be Nico stepping up Patrick's place, which was within the last week of the before the tournament. So like within a few days.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also got Vincent.
Oh yeah, we also got Vincent.
Yeah, to replace Risa because she wasn't able to go to a personal reason. So we got him, I think, just a few days before the submission deadline. So
Yeah, otherwise it will be playing OBR.
Yeah, which I think would be a very interesting challenge for Nico, who would be subbing in for the team. I think, regardless.
Hmm.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like, yeah, you guys had pretty good synergy. The five of you play very different armies. That's already good. So can we go to battle plans and see like how you guys did some prep for that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do these colors mean? Why are they all like color coded and stuff?
Well, green would be a good battle plan for the person's army. Yellow would be, well, doable.
Right.
And then the red one would be don't put me here, please.
Red would be
Apparently,
don't.
also have orange, but doable. The enemy is easy. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 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 So sorry, what's the difference between red and orange?
I'm not so sure about the orange one. That's just between the green, yellow, and the red.
Pat, was the orange your conception, Pat?
yeah, but I don't remember what it does.
Oh my god. Okay, guys. Your champions, everyone. It's how the prep work. Oh well, if it works, it works, right? So there's a reference for a kind of more lukewarm kind of no. That's not necessarily a yes, I guess.
Mhm.
So all right, so let's go over this. So there are three sets of missions. Did you feel that your team's spread was very good for the purpose of these missions? I can see some rounds seemed more challenging for you than others.
No, it would be um, as for the battle plans, it would because we had Night Haunt and then Cruel Boys being a shooting army, and then Night Haunt being an all flying unit army.
Yeah,
So definitely Frigid Zephyr gave us a hard time for
yeah,
sure, and then every step is forward because we had a bunch of like charging that armies that like to charge. So Frigid Zephyr, every step is forward. Ice Fields to a certain extent, no reward without risk for me. So it was definitely harder. These battle ones were certainly hard.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it looked like round one seemed kind of weird, and I actually
Mhm.
think that round three would look like the easiest for you guys to pair into because
Oh, round
there
one
were
was
very
definitely
clear
the
rules.
hardest one. That round one was definitely the hardest one
Okay,
between
so
Nexus, Frigid, and Fountains of Frost. Because what
okay,
happened was that I needed to put our Night Hunt player in Nexus Collapse as defender just to assure that they wouldn't be picked for Frigid Zephyr.
right. So with regards to this, sorry, someone popped into Discord. With regards to this, the um, would you say that?
What?
Sorry, hold on. Someone keeps popping into the Discord. So with regards to this, would you say that this chart was made with by collaborating with your teammates, or did you think, or did you come up with this, and did you show that? Hold on a sec. I need to message this person to tell them to stop popping in.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, was
each
this a team
yeah.
collaboration, or was this like your own individual creation?
To a certain extent, everyone chimed in just to put in their opinion on what the battle plans toward the of the battle plans towards their armies would be. Like I didn't know that. Well, that Night Hunt would not prefer every step is forward, etc. So yeah, every person chimed in.
Okay, okay. So this was a team effort for sure. Because I know that in other team tournaments I've been to, the captain sometimes is so proficient that they decide for the team, and the team just trusts the captain. But okay, this is a collaborative experience.
No, I think the only influence I did have was that Gargants was just putting Gargants on the two games. Game two on the second battle
For
plans.
defender. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. That's interesting. So speaking of which, let's talk about how you navigated these. Round one, your opponent was Add to Cart Wargaming, right?
Mhm.
All right. So how did the pairings for that one go? What was your mindset going into that?
That would be that would be my best draft of the tournament. I think I can show like a quick picture of it like
Yeah,
right
go
here.
ahead. Oh wow, nice. Okay.
Right. So this would be the best draft that I did for the tournament. When I was still kind of sane from not sleeping. Um, All right. So
So,
for
which
yeah,
one is game 1? Which one's game 3? Game 5? Like left to right, up to down, or down to up?
goes from up to down.
Up. So up. The furthest from us,
What's the
from our
first battle plan?
perspective, is okay. Got it. So, um, yeah. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we followed through with the initial strategy with this one. I had Night Hunt as defender. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
remember. I couldn't remember what the attackers were, and then I was one of the attackers for the Gits defender, which I
Right.
was kind of surprised that they picked me because I think I have a good matchup against Gits, and
Okay.
then I knew that for Slaves to Darkness they were kind of elite, so Night Hunt would be good against it. I just didn't want Night Hunt to be even frigid for sure. And then for the second battle plan, obviously I had Suns as the
Right.
defender. And I just picked the Stormcast one because this particular Stormcast list wasn't as skilly as the other ones, I guess. As the
Sure.
other Stormcasters of the tournament. And then for Cruel Boys, they just picked Cruel Boys for it. And then this was kind of a bad decision, a harder decision for them because I had Cruel Boys and Korn as the attacker, and
Right.
obviously they would want to pick Cruel Boys, but if they pick Cruel Boys, then their Cruel Boys will be going against Korn,
Yeah,
which
that's a very bad matchup.
is a very bad matchup. So they were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place for sure. So this was definitely my best draft. Like I got all of the matchups that I wanted, and then yeah, it converted into a very hard win.
Okay, that's good. But did all 5 players win? Is that what happened in this one?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, for the record, for the people at home, the beautifully printed big cards are the ones were the ones used by Add to Cart Wargaming, and they're really pretty small cards that were made by Risa. Where Risa, right?
Yeah, and then
She's on the
printed
main. Oh, yeah.
by Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah, and printed by Patrick. Those are the smaller cards on the screen. Yeah, it looked like things did kind of pair very well for you guys into this one.
Very well. Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for that. So thanks for that. So this was round 1. This was a very dominant lead already. So
Mm.
who'd you guys face in round 2?
For round 2, we were facing against Dragonforge.
Yeah, but can we go over the sheet real quick for
Right.
Add to Cart? I just want to see what the prep looked like.
not,
Okay, so
not much.
no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to show this because it shows people who are outside the team tournament experience who might be curious about the team tournament experience that this is what it might look like. So it can be as simple as a spreadsheet with a matrix and like just the lists lined out in front of them, and so that when the captains are creating this proposal, like you can see like how the decisions are made. I noticed that not everything was colored in though. So
No.
does this mean that you guys came up with a lot of the decisions on the spot?
I think we didn't put much as emphasis on this one because we just thought, or at least I thought, that the general strategy of the Gargants one was already really, really strong.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the plan. So not everything was like colored in. Okay, so let's go to
No.
round 2 then.
Mhm. Yeah, so this is for Dragonforge. I'll try my best to remember. This was my worst draft. I fumbled it so hard.
Okay.
I went a little bit too fancy with it, and then I guess I don't know. Maybe it's a product of being so sleep deprived, but we were doing our draft in the lines of communication table.
Oh,
And
that's that's second set. Let's start with the first one.
No, we were doing our draft in the lines of communication table.
Oh, okay.
So it was a 3 objective map, and for
Okay.
some reason, I thought that it was the map for the first game. For the first
Oh
map.
my god. Okay.
So you're gonna see Sons of Behemoth in the first battle plan right here.
Oh
So
my
this one
God.
goes from bottom to top. This one goes from bottom to top, I think.
Okay. That explains things. I was gonna ask why the cards are arranged in that order. All right. So okay, tell us about it. Sorry, go.
Just trying to remember. So I fumbled it so hard. I was so worried that during the game I keep looking over my teammates, so counting how many bloodthirsters were still alive, counting how many gargants were still alive from afar. But okay, so for this one, I had Korn. I had Korn as defender for the first battle plan,
Sure.
which is okay because it was, I'm not mistaken, it was no reward without risk, which is an okay battle plan for Korn.
Okay, yeah.
I
But
had it as defender,
right.
and then um, my intent at this point was to have Korn as a defender for the first battle plan, and then have Suns as the defender for the second, obviously.
However,
I put Suns attacker for Korn for some reason.
hell yeah, I guess. Okay, so it was Suns and Night Hunt, right? That's what you attacked with into Corn.
Mm-hmm.
And then they chose Suns versus to fight against Attorney Chris for Corn.
Yes.
And then your defender was Corn, and you were choosing between Ares, DOK, and IDK, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you chose Daughters.
I think it was either Daughters or I think IDK. Yeah, I think IDK.
Or Slanesh, maybe. No, it was Daughters and IDK. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you chose Daughters of Cain into Corn in no reward without risk. Why is that? Or did you think it was Lions?
No.
No. Okay. At this point, you already kind of got your wits about you.
Oh my god. Yeah. I know that Daughters ramps up.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be good for Korn to just get in there and wreck stuff.
Yeah. So for the people at home, no reward without risk is a very central objective type of fight. It's got 5 objectives, and all of them are down the center, and it kind of forces an early commitment if you can't decide who goes first and second.
Right.
And I found this very interesting because both IDK and DOK tend to be a bit challenged committing early, unless the DOK player was like a bow snake player, where they basically fire off on all arounds, as opposed to witches which gets really oppressive much later on, right? So in some ways, you were choosing between two matches that might have been favorable toward Korn in this case, I think. Although Korn could also be argued to be a late game threat, so this was definitely like interesting. Okay, so you chose DOK, and then for the second set of pairings, which you now know to be lines of communication, who did you pick as defender?
For this one, I picked Night Hunt.
Oh, okay, because you didn't want Night Hunt to be in ice fields.
Mm-hmm.
That makes perfect sense. Night Hunt and ice fields don't mix super well.
Yeah, drafting was definitely harder with Night Hunt.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
you picked Night Hunt for this, and what did they had Cruel Boys and Ideneth Deepkin. Yep. Why did you choose Cruel Boys?
I think IDK would. I think it's not a horrible matchup. Just that. Why that?
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
That's okay. So you picked it out based on your gut back then, and those.
No, I think I definitely had a reason or something. I just can't remember.
That's okay. You were sleep deprived. We're different when we're sleep deprived. But thank you for sharing that anyway. So, how did this bout turn out? I know you guys won, but were there any pairings choices you would have changed besides the whole I forgot what the first mission was?
This was definitely a hard team to draft around. I thought that Ideneth was really threatening with the eel spam. They're just so fast and they hurt and they hit so hard. And then Korn was definitely also a threat. Although I wanted to have Korn go against our Korn just because in the mirror match I thought our Korn was better.
Okay.
Because we had our Korn list had a passive way to gain blood tide with the prayer, which the other Korn list didn't have, and then we had the better sub faction and also a better grand strat with our Slaughter of Sorcery going against their Overshadow.
That's
So
true. It's a more of a matchup thing, I think. Yeah,
yeah.
but Attorney Chris's Corn goes very well into other matchups. So
Hmm.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, so
that's
if
interesting.
I have done things differently, I would have had Luminet as the defender, and then obviously they would have Korn as the defender for this map, for sure, because this is such a good map for Korn. So maybe I could have
Yeah.
preserved Korn as an attacker for this one, and then and then had Suns as the defender. So it's more of a draft placement thing that I would have done differently.
Would you have put Cruel Boys in a different spot? To my understanding, it's Vince's. The Cruel Boys player on your team was the one who took a slight L against IDK. Would you have chosen that same route?
If I could like pull IDK towards Suns for sure, I think.
Okay, that makes sense. They got a really low volume, and if JP finest hours properly, then Suns basically doesn't fold to IDK that much.
Yeah, and well, Suns can toss the ships.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think the IDK player had like that artifact that lets him throw a second ship.
Yeah, thanks for the ammunition, man.
Oh man, that's so miserable having your shit used against you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this one was another clear W for Team Spam. But let's go into round 3. Unless there's
All
something
right.
else you want to share, but yeah.
So for round 3, I don't have a picture, so I'll be going mostly off of memory.
Spreadsheet. Let's go to the spreadsheet.
Right.
So round 3 was against Arkham, right?
Yes.
And it was every step, Spring the Trap, and Power Flux.
Mm-hmm. So for round 3, that would definitely be my second worst draft. Kind of hard to say because there was only like 3 rounds, but I think I did good with the sticking to the overall strategy, and then I definitely fumbled the bag when it came to assigning attacker.
Oh, really? So who was your attacker for every step is forward?
So my attack for every step is forward was Nighthawk.
Hey, it's a red here.
I know, yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. Defender or attacker?
Attacker.
Oh, okay.
I should.
So who's your defender, though?
I was a defender for every step is forward.
So you're the defender for this one because it's a green for you. And why didn't you pick Corn and Cruel Boys to be your attackers for every step? Because they were greens here for you. Or was it based on the defender of the opponent?
Defender for that one would be
Win, right? KO.
Yeah, KO.
Yeah.
It was definitely a bad idea to put Knight on there, for sure.
Okay.
But as the tournament went on, I was trying to identify the strengths of our team, and one of them was Suns for sure.
Right.
And then the other strength that I came to realize as the tournament went on was that Corn was really freaking strong.
Yes.
And it was one of our armies that went like 20-0 during the 2 battle rounds or something near to it.
Yeah, so Nico went 20-0, 18-2, and then the last round he went 20-0 again. So, for the record, to give people some context for this list being strong, this tournament happened had the rules cut off before the battle scroll changes, and after the battle scroll, that list went up by like 100 points. So it's definitely illegal now.
Definitely a really, really strong list. And
yeah, Patrick made that list. So yeah, good job.
I wasn't as confident of Korn going against that melee KO style. I thought they can definitely handle it, but I thought that it would be really swingy.
That's fair.
So I wanted to preserve that strength as much as possible.
Yeah.
But if I could change it, yeah, I think I would just put more faith in the Korn list and being able to handle it, and then yeah, I think I should have not put Night Hunt as the attacker for this one.
Okay, so for defender, you had Luminef. Attackers, they obviously picked Night Hunt. How did the pairings for Spring the Trap go? Do you put JP as Suns as defender?
Yeah, that I put down the card as fast as possible. You know, who
Okay.
knows? My brain, I might have a brain fart again.
Okay, that's fine.
Right. I had Sons the attacker, and then they were going against. I guess one of the attackers assigned to it was Nurgle, and then the last one would be Slaves to Darkness.
Okay, all right.
And then the defender for Team Arkham for this battle plan would be
Stormcast, I think.
no. I had Stormcast. I was going against Stormcast.
Yeah. That was your attack. So for Arkham, it was.
Oh no. I think the defender for this one was Slaves to Darkness. Their defender.
Yeah. It was Frank with Slaves of Darkness, and you were choosing between Seraphon and Nurgle to fight Suns.
Yes, Seraphon and Nurgle.
Yeah, and both of those armies are actually pretty solid into Suns if they with the proper kind of setup. Though the mission favors Suns, as you correctly pointed out initially.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you pick Nurgle over Seraphon?
I just didn't want to with this particular list. I didn't want to deal with the -1 to hit of Drogodon, and then yeah, I think that would be it.
All right, so
and also I thought that with the Scar Veteran on Agrodon and then 2 units of Agrodon Ladders, I think they can reliably kill a Gargan for sure. With the Scar Vet and then the 2 units of Agrodons.
Yeah, the -1 damage is definitely very brutal for Suns, who already are very swingy.
Yeah, -1 damage and then the -1 to hit from the Throg.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So it's a very good list into that. So what happened next was they had to choose between Khorne and Cruel Boys, right? So I think they chose Slaves to Darkness into Cruel Boys, which is definitely a really good matchup for Cruel Boys.
Yeah.
Sorry, for Slaves to Darkness.
Perfect.
And they were able to throw Khorne into Power Flux. In this sense, I actually think Arkham sort of had an outmaneuver in the pairings, just because I think Khorne traditionally is very weak into Power Flux. It's just that Nico was able to carry the army.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Khorne is definitely. I should have realized it sooner. Like it's definitely a general's army or something. I think it could go against anything, like literally anything.
Yeah, I would say with bias involved that Khorne is probably the strongest army in the game right now.
For sure.
And I think that the nerfs were 100% justified, I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. So to my understanding, Vince's Cruel Boys did lose to Frank. I think he got 20 Odin this match, right?
Mm-hmm. Which isn't surprising because they have wars against mortals,
Yeah, and Spring the Trap, I think, is Slaves to Darkness and Khorne's best battle plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the only way to counter those would be Suns, because Slaves to Darkness have that musician ability that when they roll dice, one of the dice can turn into a 4, making their charge from a board edge extremely reliable compared to most other armies which need to roll the 9.
Yeah, and I think for this particular round, it really shows how decisions in the earlier part of the draft can really influence the rest of the draft. Like I shouldn't have put Nighthaunt as an attacker for that one. I should have just put Khorne in it and had more faith in the Khorne list. So yeah, I definitely fumbled the bag when it came to the attackers.
Okay. Do you think that fumble affected the score? I actually don't know the result between Nighthaunt and KO.
I'm not sure as well.
Oh damn! Okay. Well, it's okay. The weekend was Saturday, was a while back, I guess, and we're now all back to our working rhythm, so I understand. But yeah,
we were definitely a little bit more relaxed when it came to this round because we knew that we had such a lead in the tournament when it came to scoring.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a more relaxed round, which is funny to say because it's the last round of the tournament.
Yeah. So for people in the audience, the way the winners are decided for the team tournament is not based on the number of wins or losses you have as a team, but based on the overall score. It's possible for you to lose big in round one, but if you score submarines and you take on teams that are less proficient than you and you just swamp them completely, there's a chance to still win. Unlike in singles tournaments, which almost requires you to win every round to be sure of the win.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, all right. So once again, like congratulations to Josh and Patrick. Yeah, now that the team tournament is over, though, after like months of planning for it, what do you think of your overall experience of being a captain and the team tournament? Like, share some positives and negatives, if there are any of either.
The biggest positive is for sure the draft. Like it's such an alternative way of playing, and then I like how, at least from my experience, I liked how we were like it was like a collaboration between the teammates, like constantly just talking about the game, the matchups, just the battle plans. I think when it comes to team tourneys, battle plans are taken more into account when in the conversation. At least from my experience.
Sure.
So that's the draft itself is definitely the biggest plus of having a team tour, which I really enjoy.
Okay. So, what do you think might be something? Did you have like, since this was your first time, and actually many players' first time to play and draft in a team tournament,
Mm-hmm.
was there anything particularly challenging for you?
Well, being a captain is, I would say, an honor that I could do without, even if I enjoyed drafting.
Sure.
Just because you, more often than not, you will assign one of your players into either a very bad matchup or a very bad battle plan, which feels really, really bad, especially when it came to like Vincent in his schoolboys, where I think for 3 rounds straight he was assigned to bad matchups, and props to him. He went through it, took one for the team, and also to Chris to start. Yeah, it was. I don't want to say that I don't want to do it again. It was definitely another nice way of playing the game, but
Yeah, no.
it's definitely really hard.
Yeah, there is a part of you that has to throw someone under the bus, not intentionally, but because you're thinking of the entire team, right, and not just a single person. And I'm not saying that that's objectively the right way to captain, but there is the system does incentivize that, especially if you have a player who you feel might not take as much of an advantage of a good matchup as other players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, or armies. Like I think Cruel Boys, for example, is an army that is very good at relatively better at defending than attacking. They almost never really wipe an opponent out, but they have a pretty good mid-board presence and can set like the pace of a game. So and maybe dance around an opponent using their their proclivities against ranged attacks. So I think picking them up as a defensive player, not a defender, rather, is not necessarily like a full power. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
but it does feel bad because the people trust you to pair them, right? And like you feel at least partially responsible for any negative experiences that they might have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But it sounds like everyone like did their roles. Everyone did their part. Yeah, Starship Troopers, but like everyone did their parts, and like the team won out in the end.
Yeah, I converted to win.
Yeah, it was a really good win. It was like 220 points out of 300 perfect score, which is quite excellent for the team tournament, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, congratulations again. Do you have any like closing remarks or anything you want to share? Would you join another team tournament in the future?
Oh, for sure. I will be joining. Maybe not as a captain, but
Mindless grunt, right? Mindless grunt.
just throw me into whatever. I can handle that mentally more than being a captain.
So okay, now that you know how drafting works, I got one more follow-up question. I just thought about this now. How many players do you think what's the sweet spot for number of players in the team for you?
maybe
what? Sorry, you got cut off.
maybe 6.
6. All right. So just so that final round is not necessarily like super auto for one battle plan, right? So you guys have like one more set of defenders.
Yeah, but also like it preserves much more mystery because we also realized that with a 5-person team, as soon as you reveal the defender for the second battle plan, it's pretty much an open hand.
Okay, that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those are all the questions I had to ask for today. Thank you so much for joining me, Josh and Patrick, and congratulations again for winning the Grand Alliance Clash by Dragonforge in 2024. If you are watching and you like this sort of Age of Sigmar content based in Manila, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and we hope to see you in the next video or on the on the tabletop for war games your local gaming store.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you everyone. Bye bye.